only did they build this college, they built a foundation school. They knew that people coming would need the kind of secondary education to help get them ready for college. But they also built an interracial community. They knew it was not safe for Black residents to live in a segregated community. And so the neighborhood looked like a checkerboard. The original charter of Berea, the city, mandates that a white house would be next to a Black person's house, would be next to a white person's house, so they could protect each other. But one of my favorite stories about the founding of Berea College is the hint of a mystery that John G. Fee was not entirely convinced that he was going to make an interracial college. But instead, it was some of those veterans from the U.S. colored troops that marched down to Berea in their uniforms, asking to be admitted. And when they arrived, and they were some of the same men that he had taught at Camp Nelson, he said yes, and he welcomed them in with open arms. This reminds me of the story of Booker T. Washington also walking to get an education, taking that action into his own feet and getting to where he could get the knowledge that he needed to continue his growth in this world. I think it's extra important that we think about this idea of educational agency. How do we all take those steps that will help get us to that next step of growth? Berea College began its life as an interracial and co-educational liberal arts institution. But it was always a liberal arts institution with a technical focus. The idea was you had to have practical skills, not just book knowledge. You had to have a way for your work to be meaningful in the world. Now, Berea College is also a work college, by which I mean none of our students pay tuition. Everyone on our campus has a job, and it is between a 10-hour job up to a 15-hour job for your primary position, we call them, and then you can also take a secondary position if that is needed. And we've been doing that since 1902. And this is a way of building ownership of your educational life, to give you a sense of strength and control over what you learn and how you learn, to build the practical skills to be a contributing member of society. And this was primarily envisioned as a way to build this access for both Black folks and for poor Appalachian folks. Berea College, if you don't know, is nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And one of our outreach areas is to the Appalachian community. Now, I will tell you, I teach a course in Black and Indigenous Appalachia. So how I originally met was speaking about the diversity of Appalachia. It is not just a whitewashed space. It is a place of deep, deep diversity and difference. And it's all beautiful, but it is not super well known. So one of the things that I want to speak to you about today is what the merits of a technical education are and how we can build more of a combination of a practical technical education that also really serves the needs of humanity that we often associate with a liberal arts degree. So I'm asking myself this question: how do we help people understand the importance of a technical education so that we are helping our students understand how to put technology in the service of humans rather than humans in the service of technology? Why is it important that Black and rural life be centered in this understanding of this technical education that we want to build? When we think about the masses of formerly enslaved people who voted with their feet to demand access to an education that would give them the tools to keep themselves free, today's students face really different pressures. But their claim to an education help them preserve their freedom. Educational access needs to be preserved so that we can meet the challenges of the world that we currently face. At Berea College, we have 8 great commitments. And in those commitments, we have a commitment to sustainability and a commitment to both the Appalachian region and interracial education. In fact, our mission states that God has made of one blood all peoples of the earth. And to meet that mission, we have an obligation to educate students in ways that support our values. We do that through prioritizing access to students from the Appalachian region with high economic need. At this time, Berea is now operating again as a truly interracial institution. Our student body is approximately 50% white students and 50% non-white students. And this leads us into sort of uncharted waters. We're not a minority-serving institution. We're not a primarily white institution. We are a new third thing that we're in the process of trying to figure out. Like the land-grant colleges, we strive for a practical education that will prepare our students for the 21st century and its unique problems. We currently operate a 500-acre college farm/laboratory where our students learn the latest techniques in sustainable farming, and they've been doing so there for 150 years. We also manage over 9,000 acres of forest land in the Appalachian foothills. These are non-traditional classrooms that allow students from rural areas to use the skills that they have from home to help create new sustainable solutions for our future. And every year we have students who also come from urban areas and get to learn the skills that our rural students bring. For them, the farm is often an entirely new environment, and they come willing and ready to learn. And it is through this practical education that students learn to think on their feet and to create new ideas to address both old and new problems. For many, the idea of increasing technology represents one way to fix the problems that they see in our world. But for others, the cost of this new technology does not outweigh the environmental issues that it brings. One way to address this issue is to change our understanding of what technology is and how we interact with it. In the most prevalent understanding of technology, we think of computers and things like artificial intelligence. But at its root, technology is a tool that we can use to create the world that we want and to value the work that we value. The land-grant institutions, and I believe Berea College, share a common impulse that we can use diverse understanding of technology to create institutions of innovation, where diverse student bodies can come together in coalition to learn how to harness technology to serve the needs of the people. Technology that is created by them and for them. Leaning on educational agency and access, we can build institutions that create space for students, faculty, staff, and community partners to learn with each other. Places to find solutions to big picture problems and to build pillars of our community for the whole community. Thank you so much for inviting me here to share this vision with you all. I really appreciate it.
As a token of appreciation, the 82nd Annual Professional Agricultural Workers Conference gives the certificate to Jessica Klanderud for the George Washington Carver Public Service Hall of Fame lecture.